Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about pattern position, what it really means and how to interpret it according to ISO 5458 from 2018. First of all, let's understand what pattern position actually is, because it's a bit different from a normal position tolerance. Simply put, a pattern position controls a set of features arranged in a pattern. These features are kept inside the tolerance zone, and that zone can be defined with or without datums. Let me ask you, how many of you have seen something like this on a drawing? If you're not familiar with pattern tolerances, you might think, wait, this must be a mistake. There are no datums here. And you'd be partially right. The correct way to indicate this kind of tolerance is like this. What I just showed first was how it looked back in the old ISO 5458 from 1998. But that's obsolete now. If you still see it on a drawing, don't evaluate it as a bore pattern, because according to the independency principle, it's automatically considered a separate zone position. I'll be honest with you, when I first ran into this requirement on a real part, I was confused. I had to evaluate the position of 4 bores related both to datum A, that was a plane, and to each other. I opened the ISO standard, but as many of you probably know, reading a standard is one thing, and actually interpreting it and applying it in practice is something else entirely. So what did I do? I called my friend and mentor Paul, a former Outcome teacher. He explained to me in a way that finally made sense. And that's exactly what I hope this video will do for you today. Now let's jump into a real example inside Calypso so we can see how this works in practice. And if you want to follow along with me step by step, you can download the CAD model from my Patreon channel. It's available for subscribers of the XYZ Architect exclusive tier. But don't worry, even if you're not a subscriber, you can still watch it here and try to apply the same steps on your own model. The important thing is that you practice it yourself. In my measurement plan, I've already created the base alignment, so we don't waste any time. Now, there are two ways to create the bore features. First, extract the bores individually as a cylinder, or create one cylinder, open the options, and turn it into a pattern. The second option is really powerful, especially if we want to use pattern position with the new GD&T library, as we'll see later. We'll leave the feature as a pattern and move on to creating the position characteristic. Let's rename the characteristic bore pattern with no datums, set the tolerances, and switch from simple position tolerance to best fit of bore pattern. Click on the bore pattern icon, open the best fit window, select the 4 cylinders you want to evaluate. A new dialog will ask if you want to cancel the pattern. Select yes, because we want all 4 features evaluated together. Since this is a polar pattern, we'll choose polar coordinates. Now let's take a quick overview of the methods. Gauss is best used for process control. Minimum zone is best used if you care about assembly fit and function. View tolerance behaves like a mechanical gauge with datums. And the L1 method is similar to Gauss with less influence by outliers. For our case, we'll choose Gauss. This position has no datums. We keep both rotations and translation free, so the bores can float into their best fit. If we click Calculate, we'll see the results. Since it's a 2D best fit, the rotation is around the z-axis and the translations are in x and y-axis. This is represented by the theoretical angle and the theoretical radius. In this case, the angle between the holes is by default 90 degrees. Now let's copy the position characteristic, but this time we'll constrain it to datum A, just like the drawing requires. We now only allow rotation because translation is controlled by datum A. So in this case, the boards can still rotate, but their location is fixed relative to datum A. If we calculate, we'll see the rotation values are the same, but translation is 0 because that's now locked by the datum. Let's say instead of datum A being a bore, it's a plane. Now both rotation and translation are allowed again because the only requirement is that the bores are perpendicular to that plane. But if we want datum A as a plane and datum B is also a plane, then all degrees of freedom would be locked, no rotation, no translation. The bores must be exactly positioned relative to A and B, and also they have to be parallel to them. Before we wrap up, let me also show you how the same bore pattern can be evaluated using the new GD&T library in Calypso. First, go to Form and Location, GD&T Engine. Now, select GD&T Position. Set your tolerance and for the feature, choose the cylinder pattern. Right away, you'll notice a new tab below with the letter SZ. This stands for Separate Zone, which is the default evaluation method. Now let's assign the cylinder also as the primary datum, and here make sure the common datum option is clicked. From this button, you can pick the coordinate system type. Since we're dealing with a circular pattern, we'll go with polar coordinates, just like we did before. Once you switch from single zone to common zone, you'll see a simultaneous requirement activated, exactly as described in the ISO standard. Now our cylinders are evaluated as a proper bore pattern. If you click the little light bulb button, you'll notice that the transition in the Z direction is not constrained by the best fit, exactly like in the first method we used earlier. Also, check the evaluation method. The features themselves are being evaluated using the Gauss method. The same features, when used as datums, are being evaluated with the Chebyshev method. Now, if you want to evaluate the bores relative to a different datum, it's easy. Just change the datum reference from the bores to another feature, for example, datum bore A. The evaluation will automatically create another simultaneous requirement labeled sim2. If you repeat this with more datums, you'll see sim3, sim4, and so on. This way, the new GD&T engine mirrors the ISO logic very precisely, but with more flexibility and automation inside Calypso. So that's how to interpret and evaluate different types of pattern positions according to ISO. Have you come across this in your own work? Were they clear or did they give you trouble at first like they did to me? Drop your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And if this video helped you, hit the like button, click the thanks button to support the channel, or even better, become a member for exclusive content. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and don't forget, until next time, stay precise.